Hey, it's Morgan Powell with SalinaHomes.com, and today I'm here to talk to you about appraisals. What they are, what does it mean to have an appraisal, and what happens if it falls short, what happens if I waive my appraisal, all of that. So the first thing is the appraisal is an unbiased opinion of the value of the home, or also called the market value of the home. And the appraisal is not ordered by the buyer, not ordered by the seller. It's ordered by the buyer's lender, who does it through a third-party company, so that we can ensure that we get an unbiased opinion of the home. And when the appraiser comes to the house to look at it, they're not there to look at the decor or how it's decorated. They're there to look at the home and look at the age of it, look at the bones of it, the mechanicals, look at any updates you've done, look at anything that's wrong with it. They will measure the entire home and make sure that the square footage is in fact true, because they do look at like a price per square foot when they're doing their appraisal. And so when they are doing the appraisal, they will come out and look at the property, they'll measure the whole thing, we'll take a whole bunch of pictures, make a whole bunch of notes, and then they will go home and finish their report and compare it to at least 3 other homes that are similar to it. So when we say similar, that means, built in a similar time period, built at a similar location, and with similar characteristics such as size and number of bedrooms and bathrooms. There are some people that do not care about appraisals, like if they're paying cash for a home. If I was paying cash for a home, I probably wouldn't worry about spending $500 on an appraisal. But if finances are tight for you and you do not have the gap to cover, then it's may not be the best idea for you to waive the appraisal, because you are going to have to pay the difference. So I'm here to talk to you about what you could do to be competitive as a buyer. So if you're a buyer and you are paying cash for a home, you could potentially waive the appraisal if you don't care about it. But if you are a buyer and you are getting a loan for a property, there is a really great chance that your lender is going to want to make sure that you have an appraisal done on the property. But there's some exceptions to that. If you're putting large amounts of money down, they may not require that you have an appraisal done. There can be some appraisal waivers in some situations, but every situation is different. But if your lender is making you have an appraisal done because you're getting a loan, you will have to make sure that you understand that. So if you do an appraisal gap and you say like, hey, I'm willing to pay the difference, like I'm not going to make my offer subject to appraisal if it doesn't appraise. I'm still going to buy the property and I'm still going to move forward. So just for easy math, if you buy a house for $100,000 on the offer and then it appraises at $95,000, well, if you made it not subject to appraisal, you've got to come up with a difference of $5,000. But if you had made the offer subject to appraisal, you and the seller would either have to renegotiate. So that means the seller would either have to come down to the appraised value so that you can get your loan, or you'd have to come up with a happy medium. But if you are a FHA or VA buyer, there is no renegotiating and there is no waiving the appraisals. Like you have to have those because those are both government-backed loans. And so another tip is if you are a seller and you do accept a loan from a buyer that's doing an FHA or a VA loan, you need to understand that they cannot move forward and they cannot buy your home if the home does not appraise, unless you lower to the appraised value. So that's just something that you need to make sure that you fully understand. If you have any questions about the home buying process, I would love to visit with you. Feel free to reach out to me at SalinaHomes.com. My number is 785-643-1863.